morning, folks. Michael Anthony here, the Exceptional Life Podcast. I think I hear Hunter coming. I hear him running across the lawn over there. So I'm just taking a walk out on my property here up at the cabin. It's July 5th. Had a great weekend. I hope everyone else had a great weekend. And just thought I'd do a little walk and talk with you here today. Here comes Hunter. He tracked me down. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. What you doing? So we're just walking down through the property here. I wanted to pose a question to you today. Something to get you thinking about life, right? So what's your definition of an exceptional life? Well, the Webster's definition is somewhere along the lines of unusually good, exceptional being something that's unusually good, which is why I picked that name for this channel. Because who wouldn't want to live an exceptionally good life, right? Like, think about it. Unusually good. An unusually good life. That sounds pretty awesome, right? In fact, having an awesome life, a healthy life, a life where you mentally feel good and clear and grounded, where your health is exceptional physically, emotionally, right? Like, that to me is the definition of an exceptional life. So what's your definition of an exceptional life? And are you including all aspects of your life? And when I say all aspects, I mean your body, your physical body that you're experiencing in this reality, right? We all have this meat suit that we're using and utilizing and growing from and expanding. And are you taking care of your health physically, nutritionally, right? But more importantly, and I think more important than the physical health, is the mental health, your mental hygiene, which a lot of people lack. They lack, hold on, I gotta switch my hands here. Got my coffee with me as well. A lot of people lack mental hygiene practices. Things like meditation, EFT tapping, visualization, positive self-talk, journaling, right? There's a lot of different practices that you could use to really enhance your mind, enhance your beliefs about yourself, eliminating the limiting beliefs that hold you back, old conditioning you picked up over the years of you being alive, especially as a child. We pick up a lot of very limited conditioning. And there's beliefs you probably have about yourself that you're unaware of because they are so anchored in your subconscious mind. And if you're not familiar with how powerful the subconscious mind is and how it is running your life every day, then you need to start to expand your mind, become aware of those subconscious thought patterns. And you're not going to know all of them, but you could start to uncover them and you could start to change them. You could change the way you think and feel. It's completely up to you. You don't have to rely on anything outside of you to change the way you feel. And if you are living a conditional life, meaning you're relying on conditions outside of you, such as other people, your job, your relationships, material things, if you're relying on those things for your happiness, you're really limiting yourself in this life. You're limiting the amount of happiness and joy you can experience. You're limiting your understanding of the universe as a whole. So these are just some things I want to throw at you today. Just spitting some game here, right? So what's your definition of an exceptional life? Write it down. Write it down for your mind, your body, and your spirit. What are you doing? What are you thinking? How are you feeling? How do you want to feel? What do you want to believe? When you wake up, what are the thoughts that are going through your mind? What are you depending on? What type of conditions exist out there? Screen looks a little fuzzy. Hopefully you can see me all right. So that's just a question I wanted to pose to you today. I'm hoping maybe you take some time, take, 5-10 minutes and just jot some things down. Let it come to you. Don't overthink it, right? How would you like to live? How would you like to feel? And that's probably the most important thing. You could easily write what you would want in life. A lot of people will come up with material things. I have a lot of material things that I'd like to have as well. I have a lot of material things that I've manifested and obtained in my life because I've focused on the right things. But it all started on the inside with my mind, right? With my spirit. Everything else came as a consequence of the way I was thinking and feeling. So if you could start to understand that and allow that, you could live a pretty amazing life. I can guarantee it, because I've changed my life significantly over the last 5 years, and the way I think and feel and believe has exponentially grown. I'm stronger, more confident, and even bolder as a result of it. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of great scientists out there that are studying these practices that at one point were considered woo-woo. Whoa, I just had a bug dive bomb my cheek. But anyway, there's a lot of amazing neuroscientists that are studying this stuff, and they're seeing how powerful the brain is, the mind is, how much power you really have that a lot of people are unaware of. So take a little sip of coffee. So there's Hunter, there's the barn. I'm on the back side of the property. I did a 4th of July tapping video on the other side of the barn by the peach tree. But yeah, we're just taking a walk. So hopefully I'm giving you some good pointers here on things to consider, things to think about. I think one of the most powerful ways you can start to challenge yourself and start to live in an exceptional manner is to start writing some stuff down and start to take some time to sit down and think and contemplate what an amazing life would be for you. And if you're only coming up with material things, that's fine. There was a point in time where I only thought the best way to live an exceptional life was to have all these material things, because I thought that would bring me happiness. And getting material things certainly does bring some happiness, but it's like the law of novelty, right? It wears off. And if you focus too much on just material items, what happens is you're not changing the way you think and the way you feel. And if you get these novel items, these material items, could even be a sum of money, you will be happy. You're going to get that dopamine release. You're going to feel good. But as a law of novelty will tell you, it's going to wear off. It's going to wear off. It's not very grounding and fulfilling in the long term. And we've all experienced it. Think of something you wanted really bad, and then you actually got it. And then think, a year or two down the road, you're not quite as excited as it was, because it's not a long-lasting, fulfilling emotional state that you stay in. You don't stay in that dopamine influenced state of being forever. So you need to learn how to instill that happiness and that fulfillment from the inside. So you essentially got to be happy before you get the things that you want. You need to feel what it would be like to have or accomplish or be the way you want to be, have the things you want to have, material or not, it doesn't matter. How would you feel if you had them now, even if you don't have them? That's the way you gotta rewire your brain to be happy first. And then you'll start to experience everything you want to experience. Much, much more so than you ever have before. That's because you're rewiring your brain, you're building your awareness, you're expanding your mind. You're literally wiring your mind for a greater sense of well-being, a greater sense of fulfillment, without it being conditional, meaning you don't have to have those things that you want in order to be happy. Your default state of being is happy now, And then you align yourself to allow those things to flow into your life much more easier, because you're not in a stressful state. You're not living conditional, right? You're not like, I need to have that car, or that house, or, that salary in order to be happy. You're being happy first because that's your God-given right. And then you switch that around, you rewire your brain to naturally be happy. And guess what? The things that you do want, they start to flow into your existence more so than if you were being conditional and living in a stressful state and only being happy if you received or obtained the things you wanted. There's actually a term called the hedonic treadmill. And that's that trap that a lot of people get trapped into, which is, I need this to be happy, and then you get it, and then you're happy. But then, that wears off. It's not long-lasting and fulfilling, that emotional state. So then you're like, well, now I need this, and then I'll be happy. And it turns into this vicious loop. There's a bug on my camera. It turns into this vicious loop where you're like on a treadmill. If I only had this, I'd be happy forever. You get it. It wears off. Well, now if I only had this, I'd be happy. You get it. It wears off, right? So you don't want to be in that state, because that could last your entire life. A lot of people live their entire life that way. They chase a certain salary, right? They chase lots of material things, and some people get them. Some people will get them. And then you'll see them. They'll have all these houses, these cars. They're making all this money. They're still not happy. They don't understand it. But then they think, well, if I just had a little more, if my business was a little bigger, if my salary was a little larger, if I had this other car, right? It never ends. It's a trap. So there's nothing wrong with wanting those things or having those things. If you reverse that around, you wire your mind to be in the default state when you were born, which is just being happy. Happy because you're alive. Happy because you're here experiencing this amazing universe right now. If you start living in that grateful state of being, you can rewire your brain to be happy all the time. And then that really opens yourself up to get all those things you want. You could still obtain all the material items. Here comes Hunter. But you're not dependent on them for your happiness. You're happy first, and then you're going to get more than you ever dreamt of. And you know what? Your wants, they're going to expand even more so. You're going to have more fulfilling things that you want. You're going to be more concerned about the way you feel as opposed to the material things you have. And guess what? All those material things, they're going to start showing up in very pleasant, surprising ways. They're going to show up in different ways that you never imagined. And it's going to be pretty awesome. So be happy now. Feel good now. Be grateful for everything. Take the time to be grateful for all of the things you have right now, including your breath. Every breath you take is a blessing. Being alive, right? Having family and friends. There's a million things you can come up with if you take the time to sit down and be aware of it. Be aware of every little thing that you could potentially be grateful for. When you start spending time on that, anything and everything you always wanted will show up. I guarantee it. So, all right. So I'm just checking out some of my plantings here, just walking some of the trails. I hope you enjoyed this little speech today. I'm just sharing with you things that I've learned, ways in which I've grown and expanded, ways in which I've manifested things that I've desired. And it all happened when I started taking care of my mental hygiene first, taking care of the way I felt, started being grateful and fulfilled for the smallest little things. The breeze on my face I feel right now. It feels good. It's amazing. The fact that I get to experience it in this life is pretty amazing. If you could start to live in that manner, anything and everything you ever wanted will show up. Relationships, money, material things, emotional states, all sorts of stuff. So I hope everyone has a fantastic and exceptional day, and I'll catch y'all later. Thanks for watching.